Hi, I'm Betty Lynn Fisher, consumer columnist and medical reporter for the Akron Beacon Journal and Ohio.com. I'm here today in the lovely home of Dr. Janice Camino. She is a primary care physician at Unity Health Network, and her husband, Dr. Tran Ma, who is about to start soon as a colorectal surgeon at Summa Health. We are here today to talk about the Healthy Actions column from this past Saturday that Dr. Camino and I worked on, where we talked about healthy ways to diet. She obviously sees a lot of people in her practice who want to lose weight and be healthy, and so I won't go over the whole thing again. You can read the column. But today we wanted to go over some more questions that we had, as well as Dr. Camino volunteered to help make a recipe that is actually Dr. Ma's mother's recipe, right? So if you guys could tell us a little bit about what we're doing here, and tell me a little bit about, is this like a favorite meal of yours?
So this is really easy for us to make. When we have leftover vegetables in the fridge and we want to kind of not waste it and just consume it or anything fresh, then this is our go-to recipe, because we make the sauce for like a week's worth and we just keep it in the fridge. And when we have leftover chicken or leftover shrimp or any meat really, then we just roll with it.
And so these are Vietnamese spring rolls. Do you do them as an appetizer, or do you make them as a main meal?
So a lot of the time they are appetizers at a restaurant, but for us it's really the main meal that either lunch or dinner. Because like I said, we get our vegetable intake this way and our protein as well.
Right.
And some carbs.
And so for a lot of times, you're not even doing necessarily meal prep just for this. This is a meal that you have after you've had other meals, and you can put the leftovers.
Exactly.
Okay.
For us, we use a lot of basil in our cooking and a lot of bean sprouts too. So in a common, typical household, you wouldn't necessarily find that, but for us, in our fridge, we're usually stocked up with like cilantro, basil, and cucumber and lettuce, so that after we make soup or something like that and we have leftovers, then we just consume it this way.
Okay. And Dr. Camino did write down the recipe. I'll share it on the Facebook page after we're done. So I think you wanted to show us how to make the sauce first, right?
Yes.
So we're going to move over to my stage.
So we'll put Betty on the spot and actually have her make it.
I can follow directions.
So we're going to start off with 1 cup of the hoisin sauce.
Okay.
And the hoisin sauce, you can find this at most Asian grocery store.
Oops, brand new. I'm going to go this way. Oh, it's okay. Do you want to get a spatula maybe, you think, to get it out?
Yeah. You just squeeze
it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1 cup. Okay.
And then
We're putting this all together, or are we dumping it in first?
we can just put the sugar on there too,
Okay.
because it's another cup.
Okay.
So it's you can just vary the amount of sugar you put too. It doesn't necessarily.
So literally just put it in and just go to 2 cups.
Yep, 2 cups. You don't have to put 1 cup. 1 cup is a lot for most people. So you can just kind of titrate it to your own taste.
You said that this sauce will last a while. So this is probably a serving for how many people, you think?
So for us, that sauce usually lasts us. So you can just pour everything in here.
Okay.
And then you just put 2 cups of water. And
Okay.
I'll just put the water in here. So usually it varies. A week to 2 weeks, sometimes even a month.
Okay.
And what we usually do is that container for the hoisin sauce, we go through it so fast that we reuse the container.
Put it back in. Oh, that's a great idea.
And we just put it back in there, and
Okay.
we just put it in the fridge.
Okay.
So it's ready to go.
Yeah, because I don't think any of these types of things are things that probably spoil.
So you just put the whole thing in there. And, it's a personal preference if you want to microwave. So you can just put 2 cups to begin with. What I usually do is
2 of these scoops of cornstarch?
Or you can just, this one.
So what is this? Is this a
That's a tablespoon.
So 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons first, and then we'll go ahead and microwave it.
Oh, you want to see
sure
probably
that,
the thickness of it.
Yep, exactly. And usually try to
Do we need to stir it at all?
I usually just wait.
Okay.
Just pour it all in the. You
Okay.
can.
Okay.
But so just put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. And so initially when you make it, the sauce will be a little bit thinner, and as it cools down, it becomes thick. So do you want to see the finished product here? So this is the sauce, and this is really the consistency.
Okay. How many days did you just make that one, like last night? Or?
I just made this an hour ago, actually. So you can see that it's still
so there's no peanut butter in this sauce? Right?
No peanut butter at all.
Okay.
But again, you can vary the sauce. You can put garlic if you'd like. You can put chili pepper. You can put sriracha. You can put peanuts too.
Okay.
Some
so
people
it's the garnish.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some people even put kind of like fermented carrots and daikon radish. And then you can just mix them. So a lot of the time I use a whisk.
I was just about to ask you if you use a whisk. Okay.
I do use a whisk.
Oops, sorry.
And then I usually put it back in there for more. So
just to try to get the clumps of this.
I know that most of the time too, we just throw that in the stove so that it's a little bit quicker.
Oh, so you can do the stovetop too. Do you need to just do it to a simmer or something?
Yep.
Okay. So if somebody doesn't want to do a microwave,
yeah, they can
just
put
do
it in the
this
stove as well.
Okay. Does that look pretty good? Try to get all the little clumps out.
And then we'll just put another
scoop.
Another scoop. And a lot.
So you're kind of doing this by you're kind of just watching the consistency.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So there's really not really a way to do this wrong.
Yep.
Okay.
And again, you can titrate this to your own taste.
What's titrate mean?
So you can just kind of add a little bit more of the cornstarch and the sugar until it's sweet enough for you, because most of the time it might be too sweet for some people.
Okay. Is that pretty good? Put it back in the microwave?
Yep, just put it back in the microwave.
I'll let you do that.
Back here for another 30 seconds.
And is this the type of thing where when you put it in the fridge or when it sits, it gets a little thicker?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you don't necessarily want to make it right before you're about to eat your sprinkles.
Yep.
You need it to.
So make it like 2 hours prior to, or even the day before.
And
it tastes better cool.
I was going to say, does it also taste better like the longer it sits?
Exactly.
Okay.
It does. Yeah. So as you can see, our final product has been sitting out for about an hour, and you could already see how thick it is. And it's going to get thicker than that.
And that's probably, you made the same recipe, but you probably have even more than that, or is that about what you?
So that's about what we had.
Okay.
With just a little bit of leftover from the fridge. So.
And then just stir it again.
And then after that, we'll probably just put it for another minute to just let the starch put to, and then that's it.
So you could probably be doing that while you're doing other prep too.
Exactly, and there's a lot of preparation for this because it's just really, when I say a lot, just washing the vegetables, etc. So
Sure.
I'll show you guys what other vegetables we use in here. So we have cilantro, we have mint. Mint is optional. This is the type of mint that you could find at Asian restaurants, so it's not the mint that we're accustomed to.
Oh, okay.
And then the lettuce.
So if someone doesn't have access to an Asian market, can they do regular mint?
They can do regular mint.
Okay.
And then bean sprouts, and we have our basil here. And the good thing about these basils is that look at how long their stalk is. So what I usually do is I just cut it and I plant it in my garden. And when I say plant, you just stick it in there, and then it'll grow.
Okay.
And then the cucumber,
Sliced
we like
and long.
and thin, and then the cilantro.
So you're just peeling it and then literally just slicing
Exactly.
it. Okay. Okay.
And then the protein that you use could really vary. We like using shrimp. You can use fish. You can use, this is rotisserie chicken from Heinen's. So you can just, like I said, pick that up if you have visitors coming. And this is a nice spread.
And did you buy, it could even be like frozen shrimp that you just defrost?
Oh, yep. This is the frozen shrimp that's already cooked that I just kind of heated up in the stove.
Okay.
And chicken and meat. It could really be anything. But the traditional Vietnamese way is pork. And there's other meat that my husband can kind of comment on whether he's holding the camera as he's being such a good sport.
So you could do like boiled pork, shrimp. There's something called nem nung as well too.
What's that?
It's like a type of sausage is the best way to explain
Okay.
it. A Vietnamese type of sausage. And
Okay.
then, if you don't have that much time, then yeah, you can pick up a rotisserie chicken from Heinen's like
Okay.
this, which is
Or
fine too.
Costco.
Or you could
Or
do
Sam's
fish
Club.
too. It's
What if
great.
somebody wanted to go vegetarian?
They can
Mostly just do the
absolutely
stuff
go
over here.
vegetarian. Yep.
Eggplant, probably.
Or
I mean,
tofu
really, any
or something
tofu,
like
yeah,
that is
yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Tofu.
Okay.
And we have the vermicelli noodles too. And then, when you guys are picking this up at the store, we like the fine rice vermicelli that, again, you can find in a lot of the Asian stores.
And how do you make this?
So this is just like kind of making regular pasta.
Okay.
You can just boil it.
Okay.
And then after it boils, and taste the noodle to make sure that it's soft enough to eat. And then just kind of blend, just throw it in cold water.
Okay.
So it doesn't stick together.
Okay. Okay.
And this is the rice paper that there's so many different kinds, but this is the size that we like just because it's easier to roll.
So this is different than, you're not doing an egg roll paper. This is
Right.
rice paper. Okay. And again, probably Asian markets, do you think like some of the multicultural aisles of some of the grocery stores might have this?
So they would have hoisin sauce
Mhm.
and sriracha. You can find sriracha almost anywhere now, but the rest of these you would need to go to the
Okay.
the Asian.
And do
market.
you need to cook that, or is that already?
So the way that we do this, and then we'll demonstrate it when we eat, is you just take one roll and then just kind of like
Oh
wheel.
gosh, you've got something special for this.
Yeah.
too. Okay.
So you just wet it. You can use any bowl.
And
And
just,
then-
you're just wetting it
mhm.
down. Okay.
Yep. So we'll show that
And
in a
but
bit.
it's hard to start, and then it gets softer.
It gets softer.
Okay.
It's gonna get sticky in a little bit, and
Okay.
then if you wait long enough, this gets almost soggy.
Mm.
That the paper will rip.
Okay.
So as soon as you do that, you better make sure to start putting in all of your ingredients and then rolling right away.
So is this a
'Cause you
type
can
of
see it's
meal
already
where you're
thick.
making it right away? So this is not
Right.
something where you're rolling this and making it for tomorrow.
Nope. And it's
Okay.
great because it's, we spend, we're hanging out with family while making our own food.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is cooked already and prepared.
Right.
But it really promotes that family time and
Okay.
family bonding, and it makes it fun too.
Yeah.
Because when we have visitors over, with all the colors and
Right.
it's really interactive as
Right,
well.
right.
And you could really make it your own. I've seen people just roll with the meat and then the noodles, and that's totally fine too.
Right.
So
Okay. Okay. Do you want to assemble one?
yeah, let's
Okay.
do it. So, and then I will do this part for you.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna make me roll. Okay. You kind of like roll like a burrito, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and you know what? It took me so long.
Okay, we're
to
we're
get
not
this.
doing it exactly because we need a little bit of space, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's easier to roll if the rice paper is on the edge.
So
and
go
then,
ahead and start when it's a little firm.
Yep.
Okay.
So I don't know. Let me get some chopsticks, but so I don't know what kind of meat you'd like. Would you like?
Gosh, I don't know.
Or the noodles?
Let's do a shrimp one. So what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm just loading. And my husband always says with burritos, I
Mhm.
overstuff. So tell me what to do
I
because
do
I
that all
always
the time.
overstuff.
Another thing too is don't be afraid to use your hands with this.
Okay.
Because as you can see, a
Am
lot
I doing
of it
this
is
just kind of like going across? Where am I
Yep,
starting?
mhm.
At the bottom?
So right here.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. I
And
would
do you
start-
do you cut this at all with scissors or?
the noodles?
Yeah.
Nope. We
Yeah,
just
my hands are clean. I washed them right before. we started.
so just like that. I mean, you can put
So you're
more,
kinda going
but that's
across.
pretty good amount.
Okay.
And then the shrimp.
Am I going to take the vein the
Mhm,
flaps
yes,
off?
please. Yep. And then we'll just use this one.
And just kind of go across?
Yep.
Okay.
And then you can really pick any.
What would you do? Would you do a little
So
bit of
I would
everything?
do a little bit of everything. And just to make it easier to roll too, I usually just put this on the top
Oh, okay.
so that it kind of just wraps
You
it.
do the whole thing, or am I taking the leaves off?
Yeah, I do the whole thing.
Okay.
With the basil though, I just take the leaves.
Okay.
And then did you get the lettuce?
I did not. Did you say to put that on top? Like, oh, on top here?
Yep.
Okay.
So that, do you mind? I wash
No,
my hands
go for
too.
it.
So that the way that you would do this is, we'll just, sorry, kind of
That's
set
okay.
you up here. So we will put it a little bit to the edge of the plate, and you can see how it's already sticky.
Uh-huh.
So you just roll it this way.
Is
and
it
you're
pretty
kind of
durable, or have you
cinching.
had times where it's ripping?
Oh gosh, it rips all the time.
Okay, so you might have to start over. Okay.
So I usually just put 2, sometimes
I was gonna, yeah.
So you just
okay.
kind of let it roll.
So if it did rip, I could
And
just
then-
do another. You might just have a little thicker.
So, and then you can just put the sauce here. And would you like some peanuts
Yeah.
with it? And here, I'll let you put, because I smother it with peanuts, so I don't know how much you'd like.
And then I'm
some
just dipping it here?
Yep.
Well, let's make you one. And we're gonna go over a couple of other kind of questions and answers that you and I talked about that we didn't have room for while we do this. So we'll multitask a little bit. So when we were talking about when people come to see you and say, Dr. Camino, I want to lose weight, you were talking about how one way you could do is a diary of writing down things, because that might give you a little clue of what you're eating.
Absolutely.
You also talked about a 24-hour food recall. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so it's so much easier now to kind of keep track of what we put in our mouth with all the apps that we have available to us, and a lot of them are free. I would say that as long as you're consistent with putting in keeping up with your diary, there's not one app that would be preferred more than others. So this one I just usually cut it to. So in that way, you can kind of tell if there's a pattern to your eating.
Right. Some of the things you were saying that would be pretty easy would be to eliminate cereal, replace it with oatmeal. And cooked oatmeal has more fiber in it. Instant oatmeal tends to have more sugar.
Yeah.
Replace sugary drinks with water. Or cut out white bread with whole grain bread, or replace white rice with brown rice. So it's just some small things that you can start with.
You'd be amazed how small modifications would take you a long way. So I've seen some patients who actually lost 20 pounds, after the 6-month visit, after just spending 5 minutes of just, recommending that, hey, how much soda do you drink?
Right.
Well, three servings, etc. Well, what about let's just stick with 2 up until you can kind of stop it altogether, and they will lose weight. 20
So you're not
pounds.
even saying go cold turkey and get rid of all of your sugar drinks, although I'm sure that would probably give you even better results.
Absolutely.
One thing we talked about was that recently I was told by my physician that I should watch my sugars and change my diet a little bit. And we talked about this a little bit. Like, does that mean I can never have a sweet, or I can never have anything? But you were saying to do it in moderation.
So I'm a big believer of everything that we do should be balanced, because if all of a sudden I say, well, tomorrow I'm going to cut out all ice cream,
right?
Soda, etc., then I'm setting myself up for failure, because I do have discipline, but I don't have that much discipline, and
right.
birthday parties, etc. So I would say that gradually kind of wean those items out, but also you can have your cake too. If before you were eating 2 slices, then this time maybe try a slice, or even cut that in half.
Right. Okay. And then let's talk about some other diets that also like. So okay, I'm gonna watch this because you stuffed yours wide big.
Yeah. So I
Did
do
you
make
put shrimp in there too? I saw you put chicken in.
I just put chicken.
Okay.
So I just most people would just close this off.
Sure.
But I just keep it.
And I mean,
open.
these are small compared to the Chipotle burritos.
And there's a lot of space in there too.
Yeah.
So
and so then you just you would just dip
you see how this is
right,
this
too
is
gummy.
Yep.
So you usually when you have the family over, are you guys kind of just actively making and eating? You're not necessarily
we're in
making
each other's
them.
space, and leaning over, trying to grab things.
Right.
Yeah, and it really makes it fun too.
Let's talk about one more thing about some other diets that may seem to work. So we were talking about the Mediterranean diet.
And there's my son.
That's okay. The Mediterranean diet, can you talk about that a little bit? It has a lot of fish and...
So a lot of fish, really low, so the whole idea is that more vegetables, more fruits, more whole grains, wine, dairy, and then less meat products.
Okay.
And you know, this one has been shown to lower the risk of type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
And there's another one, the dietary
DASH.
approaches to stop hypertension.
Right, or
and I
DASH
believe
for
that
short.
DASH diet. I think
Okay.
you had included the link on the website.
I have a link that I will include.
Yeah.
With that one, it says it allows for certain amounts of fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy, grains, and meats. So I'll include that as
So
well.
one thing that I would certainly recommend is that not all insurances are the same. I would encourage everyone to check with their insurance companies to see that, hey, do they have gym memberships associated or included with their insurance, or even dietary consult, because that's something that I would strongly recommend, or even like healthy, you know, do I get money back by seeing my physician for doing a wellness visit, etc. So that's something that I would encourage anyone to do.
What about a dietitian? At what point would you recommend that someone sees a dietitian and helps them kind of plan their meal?
Yeah, so anytime. I mean, I would say as soon as you venture into this, there are books that you can pick up about any type of diet that you're interested in, but I think that consulting with a professional like a dietitian is certainly something that I would strongly recommend. And you know, because as much as I would like to sit there with a patient, I'm talking about different dietary choices, really the dietitian is just a wealth of knowledge, and they also have tools that can kind of guide you, and as well as time. So that, I think education is certainly something not to be rushed. So that's really, that would be a luxury.
And I think we even talked about, you know, okay, once you say, okay, I'm going to do this, and you start, and then maybe you fail.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day.
So I would say that you can't go wrong about any diets that you embark on or that you try, as long as it's with the aid of a dietitian or you know, physician. And any diet will help you lose weight, but it's just as far as sustaining it and maintaining that weight loss. And you know, one thing that people ask me, well, Dr. Camino, is there anything I can do to lose weight? I really want to lose weight. I've tried everything. Well, let's not forget about exercise too, because exercise is free. You know, some people are not able to exercise, and then, you know, that's, I totally get that, but in any individual, even brisk walking or even putting in 20 minutes of your day. A lot of people say, well, I do have a treadmill and I do have a bike at home or an elliptical, and you know,
but
my laundry is just exactly. I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of that, but I would say that start low and slow, and then you can always build on that.
Okay, great. I'm ready to try one of these. So do you just dip it in the? So does
Yeah,
everybody
so let
make
me
their
show you.
own sauce?
So the way that I usually do this is, and you know, I can't really take too much spice, but some people really, my husband likes using this a lot and just kind of smothering sriracha sauce on his. But it gets messy, so I normally try not to dip it. And you know, it's important to keep your plate clean too, because if you're going to use this to roll, you don't want it to get sticky. So I try to just put the sauce over this.
So you just go as you're going.
Yep.
Oh, and I suppose that way you're not double dipping either. If you're sharing. This is my favorite. Seriously, I'm so excited. Well, like, we're gonna chew first. Thank you so much for joining me. We will share this recipe online, and good luck to everybody with your diets.